Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Transfer Express webinar, Expanding Your Embroidery Business with Almost No Investment. My name is Andy Curtis. I am the Senior Manager of Graphic Design and Dealer Services here at Transfer Express. With me, we've got my partner in crime, Kathy Clark, who is our Content Manager and Marketing. Hey, Kathy, how you doing?
Hey, good, Andy. How's it going?
I'm good. So I'm going to start off with the question we asked first last month also. Can everybody hear us okay? We're using new equipment today, and okay, good. All right,
Best
yay.
news I've had all day.
So the good news is if you joined us last month, it means we don't have to have Kathy doing an interpretive dance in the background. So, all right, well, very good. Thank you, everybody. So if you have joined us before, then you know the deal. If you haven't, we are recording this webinar. We will be posting it onto transferexpress.com/webinars once we are finished, so you'll be able to rewatch it as many times as you desire. And we are also going to be answering questions as we go. If you do have a question, please feel free to pop it into the chat box that you all found down below there. We've got two helpers behind the curtain who are going to be paying attention as well. And if Kathy or I miss your question, then they will answer for us. So go ahead and type your questions into the box and be patient with us. We will answer everything, I promise. In the meantime, the topic today is expanding your embroidery business with almost no investment. So can I get a me from anybody in the audience who is solely and completely an embroidery business? Doesn't offer anything else other than embroidery? Just curious. So I'm going to give everyone a second to type here, but so we've done a couple webinars like this in the past where we're catering to the embroidery crowd, trying to give you some ideas, trying to help you grow your businesses. So that's the goal today. Is we're going to talk about some of the types of orders that you as an embroidery business may have had to turn away. That you might not have been able to do, and we're going to talk about how you can accept those types of orders and how you can make some good money just by having a heat press. So good feedback, good feedback. Okay, so I am now used to contract out screen printing, but was difficult. Okay, I'm getting started with a business. Good for you, Deneen. All right, so without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so orders that you may have turned away. So obviously, as embroiderers, there's a lot of fun things that you guys can do that a screen printer can't do, but sort of vice versa as well. There's types of orders that a screen printer is going to be able to accomplish that embroiderers might not be able to. You guys might have a hard time with. So these are the types of orders we're going to talk about today. This is the type of business we figure you might have a hard time accomplishing, or you might just outright, maybe you have a screen printer you partner with and you send the business their direction. Either way, we're going to talk about how you can do these types of orders. So you see there's a whole bunch of stuff here. We're going to talk about everything from team uniforms to glow-in-the-dark and glitter to custom bags, cinch sacks, rhinestones, dry fit performance, a whole bunch of things that for one reason or another aren't going to be exactly in your bag of tricks as an embroiderer. So we're going to go through each of these, and again, we are recording this webinar. It will be posted for your reference later, so if there's a particular topic we talk about that strikes your fancy and we go through it a little quickly, you can always watch the video and check it out again. But before we talk about how to accomplish all these different types of orders, the first and most important thing is the way you're going to pull all this off. Obviously, you could go out there and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on screen printing equipment, depending on how far you want to go with it. And that's obviously not the option we want you to go with. The much better way to do this for you embroiderers out there is 3 feet of table space, buying a heat press. So this is honestly all you need. And one of my favorite groups of people to present this information to, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of doing this yet, Kathy, but one of the most fun groups of people to present to is actually embroiderers, because there are so many embroiderers out there who don't realize all you need is the heat press. You don't have to have all the crazy stuff. You can start expanding your business. You can start a business by itself with just a heat press.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the folks listening aren't familiar with the blog and the YouTube channel, we're actually doing kind of a documentary on an embroiderer who's doing this right now, Kim Hudson of EC3 in Kentucky. So go check that out on the YouTube table. But that was one of the things that I know she was just thrilled about is it takes up so little space. Now, in her case, she's actually doing screen printing, but finding, it's hard to find people that are skilled at that. Finding labor is very difficult. It's stinky. There's a lot of stock involved. She's got ink and cleaners and everything. Thank you so much, Danny. Is that a little bit better? So, there's just so much involved with having the screen printing setup that she's actually trying to transition her business from screen printing and embroidery to replacing that with heat transfers.
And that's actually another good point too. One of the reasons you don't want to go to that extreme of screen printing is because of all the extra things that are involved in it. This is one of the beautiful things about letting Transfer Express do it for you is we'll be the ones handling the chemicals and the equipment and all the ins and outs. There's a learning curve to screen printing too, let me tell you. If it's something that you set out to learn, there are a lot of ways screen printing can go wrong. So again, this is where we fit into the picture is we'll do all the hard stuff for you. All you need is this heat press. So if you are interested in heat presses, if you don't have a heat press yet, I recommend you hit transferexpress.com. We have a absolutely beautiful heat press section of our website that will show you all the presses available. Hotronix is by far the best type of press, the Cadillac of the heat press industry. Check out our heat presses, and if you have any questions, I encourage you to call our customer service reps. They will walk you through what type of press is going to be good for you depending on what you're trying to accomplish, what bells and whistles are useful, what bells and whistles you don't need. So definitely check out our website and hit us up. Okay, so the first thing, and thank you everybody who's giving us feedback about the feedback. We've got new equipment, so bear with us here. Thank you for the heads up, Zachary. I appreciate that. So let's talk about these different types of orders that you're probably not able to do as an embroiderer and how you could do it if you have a heat press. So the first topic is team uniforms with the name and the number. So team uniforms are probably one of the easiest things to accomplish with a heat press, and it's such a great source of income too, for a whole number of reasons. But so first and foremost, the art is easy to accomplish. So we have a system called EasyView, and you're going to hear a lot about EasyView through the webinar today. EasyView is our online design system. You're able to log on, choose a design, choose a layout, put it all together, change the size, change the colors. You're assembling your transfer, you're assembling your design. Give us the color and the quantity, and then boom, you place your order, and within a day or two, you've got it on your doorstep. So this is actually, this very first note on this slide is actually applicable to every single slide here on out. Is as an embroiderer, I know art is one of those things you guys have to work on, digitizing and converting art to stitches and all that kind of stuff. Definitely not a problem you'll have with Transfer Express. We'll be your art department. We'll help you out with every step of that journey, in addition to giving you access to EasyView. On the flip side, if you have a customer who's walked in with artwork and they need their own special custom artwork, we can accomplish that as well.
And Andy, another point on that with EasyView is, being embroiderers and all the, like you said, the work that goes into the artwork, your graphic designers may be busy already. So, think of it that way too, that this is a way that if you don't have graphic design skills, you can just go in there and do it yourself, or even work with a customer right in EasyView to help them design it.
We've actually had customers tell us before in the past that they've avoided hiring a graphic designer on their staff permanently just through the virtue of using EasyView, as a matter of fact. So that alone is definitely a benefit. But aside from that, aside from just the artwork, What's beautiful about our transfers, the goof-proof style transfers, are literally a 4-second application. So this is not a time-consuming process. If you think about it, 4 seconds goes by real fast, and then the transfers are a hot peel, so you don't have to worry about setting them aside. The goof-proof transfers, at least. And then number and names can be applied at the exact same time. Again, 4 seconds, 365, 370 degrees, give or take. And it's all very profitable. The names and the numbers are some of the most profitable parts of the actual uniform because they themselves are very inexpensive. We sell the numbers stock, and then the names are just done by strips. Very cost effective for you, and they're great add-on sales in terms of the value they add to the team uniform. So let's dig into the art just a little bit more here. So we were talking about EasyView. So EasyView is free. This is our online design tool. It's free to all Transfer Express customers. As long as you've placed an order with us, you have access to EasyView. And what we're showing you here, these are called layouts. Now, the layouts are basically a whole package. They're text and clip art and fonts all put together into one look. So you can start with layout that's got the look that you might want, or you can also start from scratch. Start with a blank slate, put your own text in, put your own clip art in, do it the long way by hand if you'd like to. Either way, EasyView is preloaded with 10,000 different pieces of clip arts and 5,300 different layouts. And the beautiful thing is we add to them yearly, or actually, these days it's even more than that.
Yeah, we're actually doing it weekly now, and we're adding fonts every month.
The other benefit to EasyView is that we've tried to make it as intuitive to use as possible. So it's one of those where we're trying to give you graphic design software to utilize on our website, but we're trying to make it user-friendly. So think of it almost as like a Corel or Illustrator Junior. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles necessarily that Corel or Illustrator has, but it's in turn it's made easier to use, and it's made so that somebody who hasn't used it before can sit down, take a couple minutes of some clicking around and get the hang of it. So. And then lastly, the EasyView system is all laid out and organized into categories. So for example, on the screen here, we're actually showing you the baseball layout section. There's other layout sections as well, all the sports you can possibly imagine, family reunions, churches, businesses, all sorts of stuff. So again, we've tried to make this as intuitive and easy for you to use as possible. So if you do have a baseball team that has walked into your shop, you could easily bring up EasyView, click on layouts, click on baseball, and boom, there you go. Whole bunch of baseball layouts ready to go.
I think what's cool, Andy, is you could start with a baseball layout if you kind of like the look and feel of it, and easily just pop in a soccer ball, pop in any other equipment that you want, and you've made it your own.
Mm-hmm. Actually, and that happens a lot too. We've got some soccer designs, some girls soccer team designs that are actually super popular and real slick. But if you're not a girls soccer team, if you're a girls baseball team, you may find yourself wanting to utilize some of these cool designs. And we see that happen all the time, actually, where you recognize the layout as having been something that was a soccer design, but you ditch the soccer ball, change some of the text around, and boom, suddenly you've got a baseball design instead. So it really is creativity is your limit there.
Yeah, and Danny, that's a really great question. You don't need to worry about copyright on this. This is all artwork that we've created for you to, if you want to use it straight as is and not alter it at all, that's fine. There aren't any copyright issues at all.
Yep, good question. So this is just a good shot of EasyView so you can see what EasyView does look like here. So what we've done is we started with, you can see on the left-hand side there, we started with layout QBA-287, it looks like. And what we've done here is we've changed Compton to Bedford, we've left baseball the same, changed the word Eagles to Bears, and you might notice that if you look inside that baseball, there was that big empty space in the Compton Eagles design. So we filled that big empty space with a bear clip art. So we've got the Bedford Bears baseball. On the left-hand side of the screen, there's the ink color section where you can add ink colors, ditch ink colors, make it as many colors as you want, remembering, of course, that the more colors it is, the more expensive it is. And then on the other side of the screen, we've got the garment color. So we've selected black as our garment color, which allows us to see our orange and white transfer on a black background. So
Yeah, it couldn't be any easier. Another feature I want to point out that's really neat in here is you can just with one click make this into a digital proof. So it'll either put it on the generic apparel itself, or we've got a selection of models. So you could just take that, send it right to your customer, and it's quick and easy. But I also wanted to mention, if you want more information about EasyView, make sure you head over to the blog at blog.transferexpress.com. And we have a short course that we did online. It takes about 15 minutes, and you'll go from zero to expert that fast.
totally agreed. Actually, if you have not used EasyView before and you do want a crash course on it, that is the best way to go about it. You'll find that as you play with EasyView, it is definitely quick to learn and easy to use. But if you're not a computer person and you want to do a little bit of reading first and check out some good screenshots and some examples, that the blog definitely has what you're looking for. All right, so this is the art part. Now let's talk about the names and the numbers portion of this. So obviously, as an embroiderer, this is one of those things where unless you're going to cut twill and then sew that on a shirt, how many options do you really have? What Transfer Express is offering here is screen printed names and numbers, again, using our stock numbers and using our Express Names product. So there's a couple things to point out here. The first thing you'll notice is that obviously doing a single digit number and doing only a single digit number, that's super simple. It's just one number on the back of the shirt by itself. But you'll notice the second picture, we've got a double digit number there. And what we've done is we've lined up the two pieces of paper corner to corner. The way these stock numbers are made is they are perfectly spaced and perfectly centered on the pieces of paper. So all you need to do is line up the corners of those numbers, and that forms a good solid block. It's perfectly spaced for you, so the double digit number looks good. You don't have to bust out a T-square or a ruler or anything. It's just a real quick wham bam done scenario there. And then lastly, in the third picture, we've actually added a name. So the name, you'll notice we've also just pushed up against the bottom of the double digit number. Again, it's perfectly spaced in such a fashion that you don't have to bust out the ruler or anything. You just push the bottom of the name up against the top of the double or single digit number. And then in the very last picture on the slide, you can see that you've got a two-digit number and a name without too much drama.
Well, speaking of drama, so the other way people tend to do this is they cut vinyl, right? And it's a long process, obviously, but the thing we least like to do is weeding. So the great thing for me, Express Names is one of the coolest things we offer. So what you're able to do is actually upload the list of the names of the team, and then they will just come out already on a strip. They're pre-weeded. So you've got your 4 seconds or whatever the particular transfer type is to press, and then boom, you're done. So it's a real time and lifesaver and money maker, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, on top of everything else, not only are you not having to do any of the weeding and it's all done for you, but it's also very cost effective. So you're paying this very small amount of money for a player name, which can easily be a $5-6 gain on a jersey to add a player name, to add somebody's name to it. So definitely bang for your buck there. All right. So let's move on to the next topic here. Have any of you ever had signature shirts walk into your shop before? Anybody ever had the opportunity to do one of these signature shirts before? If you haven't, here's the idea. So obviously, you could do some big graduation design, class of 2018, and do some big letters and just let kids sign each other's shirts in a permanent marker. But fun fact, permanent marker is not permanent on garments. It does wash off. So it definitely defeats the purpose of a signature shirt. So instead, what we've done is we've got this process for you where you get a paper template. You have the kids sign the paper template, and it's got the design on it, the class of 18, class of whatever. You have the kids sign it, then you send the template back to us, and we turn that template into a shirt, like you see the pictures on the slide here. So definitely very slick, super popular at the end of the school year. We see these out the hoo-ha in May and June, give or take. So, and then the important note here, the important thing to note, if you are going to do a signature shirt, you want to sign with a medium felt tip pen. This is the one thing we see go wrong sometimes. The thickness of that pen is what's going to pick up and burn into our screens when we do our screen printing process. If you sign the template in just a ballpoint pen or something to that effect, that's never going to pick up, and we're going to end up having to send you another template to do it again. So there's the big secret. Make sure you use a medium felt tip marker. But again, just like the names and numbers we looked at a minute ago, 4-second application time at 365, 370 degrees for a goof-proof transfer. Wham, bam, done. Real simple. Team rosters and class lists. So this is another one of those things that, now this is what my high school did. I don't know about you, Kathy, but our high school is absolutely massive. So we couldn't have signature shirts. There wouldn't have been enough T-shirt.
Yeah, same boat here. I think we had about 400 kids in our class.
So team rosters and class lists, this is another good way to go here. And it can be sports related, or like Kathy and I have said, it could be graduation related, or it can be clubs too. I think our computer programming club at our high school did roster shirts like this as well. So
You know what? This could be fun for a family reunion.
you know what? It
We have a
actually
big
could.
family.
You could do that. Actually, as a matter of fact, Kathy, I think if you look at the family reunion section of our of the layouts, I think we've got some tree clip arts that are made real big, so you can do family lists inside them. Probably not quite as many names as you see on the picture here, but not too far off. So another option that's super simple using a heat press and using the screen printed transfers. And this can be as easy as using Easy View again. And that's just one strategy. In all reality, there's a couple ways you can do these roster designs depending on how your customer has gotten the names to you. We'll absolutely make this as easy as possible and as painless as possible for you. You simply tell us what you have and we'll roll with it from there. If Transfer Express needs to do the typesetting of the names, we can do that. You can upload a TXT file with the names in just one big column, and we can feed it in that way. Or again, you can go to Easy View, you can choose your design and type them all in that way. In the end, all sorts of different ways to make this happen. And speaking of family reunions, this is another good strategy. And actually, I'm going to give you a hint here. I know this isn't on the slide, but bear with me for a second here, Kathy. So here's the big secret to family reunions, and the little girl in the yellow shirt is a good example of this. We have customers that'll call us up and they'll want to do a family reunion, and they'll tell us, okay, well, I'm going to need 10 of them to be extra small for youths, and then I'm going to need 50, 60 of them to be standard adult size for the adults. We can do that, but you're going to pay out the nose for those 10 youth shirts because it's considered a separate order. So instead of doing two separate sizes when you do family reunions, figure out what your extremes are, who's your biggest family member and who's your smallest family member, and find a size that will fit on all of the shirts. And again, that's what we've got going on in the picture on the far left there. But
Yeah, and I wanted to address Mary. That's a great question. So we've been talking a lot about goof proof, which is our most popular transfer type, and it's 5 sheets. And the reason I'm not saying 5 shirts and 5 sheets is it's a set amount of space, and you could take that up with a couple of different designs. It's called gaming the sheets. So we've got a lot of information on the blog about that, but 5 is the minimum.
Yep. But again, family reunion shirts, now technically this is something that you as an embroiderer could certainly do. But what we tend to see with family reunion designs is we tend to see people who want to do something big and bold and colorful. And while you absolutely could do some kind of beautiful stitched out design with all these colors, in the end, there's going to be a lot of trouble that you're going to go to as an embroiderer to make that happen, to where screen printed transfer will make it so much easier for you to handle. The transfer comes on a sheet of paper, pre-centered, pre-spaced, all the colors already done. You don't have to do any of the messy hard parts. So while you might look at some of this and think, okay, well, I could technically do some kind of sew out that looks like that, I guarantee you it's going to be easier to go about doing from a transfer perspective.
Fantastic. And for those that aren't following along on the chat, Danny asked if we're going to send a recording of the slides. Those will be out to you on Monday if you registered with an email address. So you'll definitely get the recording and the slides.
All right, so cinch sacks. If you have a college student or you were a college student, you probably had some of these. They are popular for the sports these days too. I can't help but think of these as laundry bags though, Kathy.
Oh, totally.
um, but I suppose the truth of the matter is it is 2018, and if you haven't seen the memo yet, these are popular amongst the kids these days. So the downside for cinch sacks is I don't know that the material really lends itself to wanting to be stitched onto, honestly. It would depend on what cinch sack you go for, I suppose. You should be able to find heavy canvas ones that you could easily sew onto. But as an embroiderer, I would have to imagine it would be a gigantic pain. Hooping that would not be easy. And then the canvas ones have got to be expensive. The cheapest way to do a cinch sack these days, you can find these in nylon, you can find them polypropylene. They are crazy cost effective. And again, super easy to put a transfer on. The one tip I can give you for doing cinch sacks that I've seen people mess up in the past is you want to make sure your bag is open all the way. You don't want it actually cinched. You want it totally open, and then you want it totally flat. Because remember, you've got a bag there, so you've got 2 layers of fabric that are going to be sitting on the press. So you just want to make sure it's totally flat surface, no wrinkles or anything like that.
Yeah, I noticed in the chat, Andy, we've had a number of questions about transfer types. It can get very confusing. Goof proof is definitely the favorite, but there are times other transfer types are appropriate. And I hate to keep banging on the blog here, but we really do have a lot of great information. If you go to blog.transferexpress.com, up in the top of the site, you'll see Transfer Selector tool, and you can actually just answer a few questions, and it'll tell you which is the proper transfer type that you should be using.
Absolutely. And just as a hint, the way to look at this is if you've got a polypropylene bag, you're going to want to use our Lassie prints. If you're going to go with the nylon cinch sack, you're going to want to use the CAD prints. If you do go the direction of a nicer canvas type bag, as long as it's not a super rough canvas, then the goof proof works real well. Just remember when you press on canvas, be it a cinch sack or just a regular tote bag, when you press on canvas, the ink transfers. The ink wants to melt into all the little nooks and crannies. So if you've got one that's a real rough canvas, then you do want to go the digital route with the CAD prints instead. So fundraising walks, this is another good one. And I've seen a couple different strategies for doing these types of walks. I've actually seen some of these where they actually take the heat presses on site, and I've seen them actually heat press the fundraising shirts right there at the walk itself. So that's one fun strategy, and I think we've got blogs and we've got some webinars out there on that topic, as a matter of fact. But even from the standpoint of just doing the fundraising shirts, again, this is one of those things that you as an embroiderer could certainly pull off one way or another. But again, we'll make this easier for you using a heat press. If you've got 100, 150, 200 people doing this walk, it's going to go much quicker with a 4-second press on a heat press as opposed to trying to sew out all of those shirts. And of course, it depends on the size of the walk too, but definitely another quick and easy way to utilize a heat press as opposed to doing it the long, hard way.
Back to those polypropylene bags again.
All right, I have to ask this because I ask this every time we bring this topic up. Has anybody out there melted a polypropylene bag to a press?
Just everyone know that I am raising my hand right now.
And she is too. There we go. Thank you, Danny. I saw my first polypropylene bag 10 years ago, and the worst part about it was a customer had brought it into our facility and asked if we could put a transfer on it. And of course, I've never heard of polypropylene. I figure it's polyester, and I tell her, absolutely. And I take her into the press room, and we put the bag on a press, and we lock the press down, and poof, the bag is gone. So, oh no, hey, that's a good thing, Danny. We all make mistakes, and owning up to it's the important part. Please, if we did a count, I've melted more polypropylene bags than I care to admit, if we're being totally honest.
Well, the good news, we've done it so you don't have to, right? So if you
Exactly.
haven't done this, here are the tips to actually getting it right and not making a bag go into oblivion.
Exactly, exactly. So here's the catch. You do not want to do goof proof. No, Dolores. She's asking what is goof proof. Goof proof is one of our transfer types. You don't want to do goof proof on a polypropylene bag. Polypropylene tends to melt somewhere around the 300-degree mark. I find that it depends on the type of polypropylene you have. There's different brands out there, different thicknesses and all that stuff, but 300 degrees tends to be the melting point. So we have a product called ElastiPrint, which is what all the bags in the picture actually here are. They're all ElastiPrint. ElastiPrint is fantastic. It presses at a low temperature that allows you to actually press on the polypropylene without melting it. And then the ElastiPrint is a cool peel. So the whole process lends itself to being perfect for these polypropylene bags. And for those of you out there who may not, maybe you're brand new to the industry and you're wondering why we're making such a big deal about these bags. If you haven't ever played with polypropylene, it's very similar to polyester. It's actually a plastic type product. It's super, super, super cost effective to make, and I believe polypropylene is actually recyclable in some communities.
I was actually going to say that when you're looking at these bags, be careful when they say just recycled materials.
But the polypropylene is real slick. Our industry has really glommed onto it in the last 5, 6, 7 years. So for those of you who are looking for promotional stuff, polypropylene is perfect because it's super cost effective to buy these blank bags. And then with our ElastiPrint transfers, it just makes it easy to decorate on them too without melting them. So
Well, and you know, this is a good opportunity because more and more communities are banning plastic bags.
oh, that's
You
right.
know, so everybody's got these things in their car to lug their groceries back and forth. So I think this is going to be a real emerging moneymaker.
No, you're right. You know what? I had completely forgotten about that, Kathy. There was that. There was just in the news. Another community had banned plastic bags. So definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. Again, an easy way to decorate a cost-effective product. Football spirit wear. Football spirit wear. Um, so there, and actually, you could sort of insert any sport there. Spirit wear. Football spirit wear, of course. We tend to be a football community out here in Northeast Ohio. As a matter of fact, Kathy and our marketing staff were just bantering about the Browns and the Steelers before we started the webinar. But So football spirit wear is another thing that's easy with the heat press. There's a couple ways to approach this too. One of my favorite strategies, I've seen some of the local high schools do this, where they will come up with 2 or 3 spirit wear designs. Um, for example, our school here in Mentor is the Mentor Cardinals. So they may have one design that's cardinal tuck with a cardinal head, and then there may be a 2-color design that's just Mentor Cardinals, and then there might be a third design that's Cardinal flexing his biceps or something like that. So they'll come up with 2 or 3 really cool designs, and then they'll display the design by itself in the spirit shop in some capacity. And then what you do is you allow the students come in and choose the shirt they want to apply on. So you've got some t-shirts, maybe some baby doll cut t-shirts, maybe some hoodies, sweaters, and the student can pick their design and then pick their garment, and then using a heat press, boom, make it right there on the spot, and they walk out with their spirit gear ready to go. Um, and again, that works for all sorts of different sports. But as a as a good tip here, and this is one to live by, help your school coordinate. Help your school coordinate a whiteout or a blackout or a red out, what have you. This is a fun activity. You can see the Penn State picture there. That's the example of a whiteout. So it's basically all white T-shirts with spirit wear. Spirit wear was done on the white T-shirts. So a fun activity, fundraiser type thing you can certainly do.
Well, and Andy, going back to something you said earlier, you know, you could also, I know a lot of folks who take their heat press on a Friday night to the football game. And you could do some cool stuff. You've got the moms there at the event, which is good. Hockey tournaments, things like that. Most of the presses come with a 110 line, so you could just plug those right into any outlet. So it really does make it so that you can, you know, have that in-store apparel, but then also, you know, take it right on site and make it point of purchase.
And actually, thank you for bringing that up again, Kathy, because this is a topic that we don't technically have a slide for in this presentation, and maybe this is a smidge advanced for the embroiderers out there, but it's a good thing to bring up where, as an embroiderer, you're not going to exactly pack up your embroidery machine and take it anywhere. And if you have, I'd love to hear about that. um, but I can't imagine that's a safe idea. As a heat press owner, you can pack that thing into your truck, into your car, honestly, and you can take it places and actually heat press on site. And let me tell you, if you haven't seen somebody doing that at an event, you can make money hand over fist if you have planned it correctly. It does take a little bit of pre-planning. It's not something you're going to want to do on a whim. But I encourage you, if you haven't ever kicked that idea around, we've got blog posts, we've got webinar videos, we've done a lot of documentation on that idea over the years. So definitely a slick way to make some money. And I'll also throw out there that one of the cool things working customer service here at Transfer Express is we get to hear all these kinds of stories. And some of my favorite stories are the moms that go to these events. They don't like the shirts that are there, or it costs too much money. So the moms actually will go out and buy a heat press. And I've heard this a couple different times where they start taking the heat press themselves. And before you know it, what started off as an out of the back of my car, out of the back of my truck thing has become a retail shop that I'm being asked to come places and do the shirts. And that's a beautiful thing in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the moms, the glitter and some of the specialty transfer types that we have are super, super popular. I think you've got some slides here.
Yahtzee. So glitter cheerwear. Now I know there's ways to accomplish this as embroiderers too. I will totally say that the types of threads out there these days are phenomenal. It's definitely a new industry compared to what it was when I started doing this many years ago. But cheerwear or glitterware is another thing that we make easy for you here. We have a whole bunch of different glitter colors, and they're listed here on the slide. And actually, this is a picture of one of my favorite examples, and this is maybe a sort of a side thing, but the young lady in the picture here has actually got a two-tone transfer on. It's actually green and pink, but what's so neat about the idea here is that it's a green glitter on a flat green t-shirt, so it's kind of that tone-on-tone thing. I don't know if it's still as popular as it was 2 or 3 years ago, but that tone-on-tone concept is super, super popular. And the glitter is perfect for it because the green glitter on the green shirt has enough of a textural difference that you can see it, and it's pretty slick stuff.
Well, and I have to say, as the mom of girls, the other great thing is you get that glitter effect without getting glitter everywhere. So, Dolores, yeah, it looks like our helpers there answered the question. So with transfers, there's no need to weed at all. So these will just, you peel off the backing and the transfer applies directly to the apparel or bag, whatever you're pressing onto. So personally, weeding is, it's like weeding, in your garden. I don't enjoy that, and I don't enjoy weeding vinyl or transfers either. So no need to weed at all.
No, we do all the hard part for you. We have people for that, Dolores. So anyway, again, glitter is another thing we make easy for you, and like Kathy said, you don't get the glitter everywhere. That's a beautiful thing in itself. And for those of you who are looking for a bling, and maybe glitter is too blingy for you, or you don't want to go outright glitter flakes, we have a second product that I don't have a picture of, but I'm just going to throw it out there. We've got another product called Pearl Prints, which is a fantastic kind of pearlescent sheen. So you still get the bling, you still get the blingy colors, but you don't have the outright glitter if glitter is just too blingy for you.
I have to be honest, that's my favorite specialty ink. I think we've got some designs out there you can take a look at, but it's just really a cool effect, and it's a real rich looking.
Oh yeah, no, I agree completely.
Design.
Our pearl prints are actually pretty slick. We've done our best to match the pearl print colors to our flat colors, so they're not these outrageous, strange colors or anything. So if you're looking for like a plain red or blue or purple or whatever, but you want it to have a little bit of sparkle, but not quite so far as glitter, I tend to agree with Kathy. I adore our pearl prints. Glow in the dark. glow in the dark. Now, this is one of those products that you're probably not going to make a fortune off of, but it's one of those things that you hate to turn away at the same time too. If somebody walks into your shop and they're doing some kind of Halloween related event, or I don't, maybe this is just me, Kathy. I don't know if you've heard about this, but blackout dances. Have you heard of this new high school thing?
Oh yeah, that is totally cool.
I
This would be perfect.
see. I can't help but imagine how neat that would be. A high school auditorium and everybody's wearing the glow in the dark stuff. So, again, another product that we make easy for you, and there's no special steps to this. The glow in the dark transfers come on the paper. You put the paper on the shirt. You put the shirt into the press. You press it, and you're done. There's no special steps. There's no extra coverings or layers of anything. I mean, it's all wham bam done one step. And Gary's got a good question here. Is there a metallic or a foil look option? We have a couple different metallic inks, Gary. The pearl prints kind of have metallic look, but we've also got metallic graphite, metallic silver, gold, and the super popular one that we just did, rose gold. Yeah, yeah. For those of you who have the Apple iPhone. And then we've also got a couple foil options too, Gary. So definitely check that out. Just bear in mind that foil is a two-step process. So.
And you know, the other thing I want to mention is that, again, all of this goes back to easy view. So no matter the type of ink transfer that you're doing, you could just do that art very easily and quickly online. So just remember that as we go through all these different specialty transfers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, to sort of go off of what Kathy just said, all of the designs that you've seen here today, they're all designs that could be made in Easy View. We've got the layout numbers that have been put on the bottom of each of these slides, and you could easily right now go on to Easy View, pop in that QHL 58, and you could actually make that Halloween coordinated shirt yourself real fast. Again, what was it? 10,000 different pieces of clip art, over 5,000 different layouts. So all there for your use. Okay. So full color logos. This is another one of those things that as an embroiderer, you're not going to have a real easy way to pull this off. We've made it easy for you. Our full color logos can be done in two different ways. We've got our CAD print product, and then we've got our stretch litho product. Now, the good news is you don't have to be a genius and remember all of this stuff yourself. If you call us up and you tell the customer service department what you're trying to do, they'll tell you which transfer type you should use and why. They'll give you the options. They'll break down the pricing for you. But the point is, if you're looking for full color, like the picture on the left-hand side is obviously it's a ram, the Marshall Rams. So this particular team went with the idea of an actual photograph of a ram. So instead of making it look hand-drawn or cartoony or go with that line art concept, they've actually utilized a photograph of a ram.
I've actually talked to some photographers who use this product.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they could do some cool black and white art around the city and then distribute it through shirts.
Yep.
You know, versus trying to sell expensive prints of their photography. It's very cool.
Well, and actually, that brings up another good point, Kathy, where the digital CAD prints, the minimum situation is actually very cost effective too, to where the screen print product can have a 5 or a 10-piece minimum depending on what you're doing. The CAD prints is just a $25 minimum, so you can get a very small number of sheets if necessary. And again, only $25. So if you have somebody who's trying to do some kind of small run of customized stuff, sometimes the CAD prints are good, even if it's not full color, even if it's just about cost effectiveness, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're great for doing your own logo and putting those in the shirts to advertise your business. You know, so stick those on the inside where the tag would be.
Yep. We are in the era of tagless shirts and people doing their own tags and all their self-advertising. This is one of the products that you could easily do that with is the CAD prints. But so the full color logos, and I'll actually take this up one notch. We didn't include any pictures of it, but our CAD prints also have non-apparel lines as well. We can do banners, we can do stickers, we can do wall graphics. I'm sure everybody's heard of Fatheads. We've got kind of our own wall graphic sticker thing going on too. And so again, we make it easy that if you've got the baseball team comes to you for their baseball jerseys, You could easily do the stickers for the helmets and the banner for the stadium and then the wall grafter for the locker room and all the bits and pieces.
Well, and it's become a thing anymore to do things for the seniors. You either get a big banner or, I think a wall cling would be super cool to
Oh,
have as
yeah.
your senior, take that home at the end of the year, smack it up in your bedroom, and it's just a super cool product.
So lots of options for the full color logos. Performance wear. So there's a couple different directions to go with performance wear, and this is one of those fun things. This is why I love our industry so much, because we could have talked about this 5 years ago, and everyone would have said, "What are you talking about? Performance wear? What is this?" It's just an example of evolution in our industry. So performance wear is essentially it's a polyester type garment generally that is worn close to the skin. There's compression wear and there's also performance wear. So the performance wear is a little bit looser. The idea is performance wear will actually absorb your sweat and wick it away from your body. It's also very light, it's very breathable. There are whole sports where the people aren't even doing traditional jerseys anymore, that performance wear has become the jersey. Back in the day, this was something you would wear actually under a football jersey, but like I said, the evolution of our industry is pretty cool. The catch with performance wear, and I don't know if anybody out there has done this and knows what this is like, there's performance wear out there that can be very heat sensitive. And what will happen is you'll put it into your heat press, you'll lock the press down, and then when the press pops up, you've got a big square where the press just touched your performance wear. Now, what that means is that you've got a transfer type that's just too hot for that performance wear. And thankfully, we have some options for you. The best go-to for performance wear when you're doing it on the 100% polyester stuff is our ElastiPrint. The ElastiPrint has a very low application temperature. It's perfect for the performance wear and has the added bonus of actually stretching. Some of the performance wear out there has a lot of give to it, and the ElastiPrint's got some good stretch to it. We've also got the AquaTrue, and I'm going to guess that most of the people in the audience today, Kathy, have probably not heard of the AquaTrue. The AquaTrue is our water-based transfer product. The AquaTrue will work fantastic on spandex and lycra and elastane, which is just another fancy word for spandex. The AquaTrue is fantastic because it is super lightweight, it is super soft, and it's got this great stretch to it. If you have not got to play with our AquaTrue product, then give us a call, get a sample of it. The AquaTrue is real fantastic. Lots of benefits and another great option for performance wear. And then, of course, we've got our full color option Stretch Litho, which is, again, stretchy. It's got a screen print texture for the most part, and it's full color. So all three of these are very low temperature applications that prevent scorching and prevent all that terrible discoloration.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned there, so if you want to give any of these transfers a try, we have some great sample packs available that you can get. Our marketing kit contains samples. So either of those would be a good way to go if you want to give this a try.
All right. And of course, rhinestones. So this is another one of those things that having a heat press gives you access to this whole world. We've got two examples here on this slide. On the left-hand side, you see a really fantastic sheer mom design that is all rhine studs, which are the little metal colored stones. And then on the right-hand side, we've actually combined the clear rhinestones with a screen printed transfer. And again, this is it's a two-step process in that case where you put the transfer down first and you put the rhinestone down on top of it. But still, as long as you have the patience to take a hot second to line them up, the product ends up really nice, as you see. And I don't have a picture of it here, but the rhinestones come on a clear plastic carrier. So if you're going to do that two-step application, easy peasy.
Yeah, and we carry some really cool stock rhinestones too. So, again, you can design from your own artwork, from Easy View to make the rhinestone designs, but we also have like bride and, a few sort of standard treatments with the rhinestones. So that's a lot of fun too, to keep those in stock and just sort of press them on an as-needed basis.
And actually, this jives with what we were talking a couple slides ago. We were talking about the sports spirit wear, the football spirit wear. if you have a design that you were using for the actual high school, for the players themselves, Menor High School Cardinals or Cardinals football, something like that, you can easily take our stock mom rhinestones and slap them on underneath, and boom, you've got a mom shirt that looks fantastic, looks like the player shirts, but has mom and rhinestones on it. So there's a creative way to reutilize some of those extra pieces. But again, rhinestones are another thing that just by having that heat press, you have access to that whole world of designs as well. All right, folks. So I see that we have had a whole slew of questions, and I don't know about you, Kathy, but I'm thankful for our helpers behind the curtain today because there's
Oh, they have done a great job. Yeah, and Andy sort of mentioned this earlier, but our customer service team is just phenomenal. I mean, these folks have been doing it a long time. They're passionate about it, and they're really more of a customer success helper than they are, just customer service. So any of these questions, never hesitate to give a call, or you could always email us at info@transferexpress.com, and you'll get an answer to these questions.
Absolutely. I would encourage everybody to think of our customer service team more as a consultant who is there to help your business be successful. So if you have a challenge of some kind, you call us up, you tell us. If worse comes to worse and the rep you're speaking with doesn't have an answer, they will get an answer for you. The phrase "I don't know" is forbidden in our customer service department. So either way, if you have any input for us, if you have a topic you would like to see us cover in a future webinar, please don't hesitate to hit us up. Go to our blog. Our blog is phenomenal, and I'm not saying that just because Kathy's sitting here with a gun to my head.
I may have paid him off, though.
Our blog is fantastic. Our marketing department does a great job of putting some real tip-top content on there. Useful stuff, too, not just fluff and filler, things that will genuinely be useful to you as a heat press owner, I promise. If you'd like to watch our previous webinars, many, many years, 10, 11, 12 years worth of webinars on there, transferexpress.com/webinars, and of course, transferexpress.com for all of your transfer needs. In the meantime, our next webinar will be June 14th at 2 p.m. We will be talking about cornering the camp market. I've been doing this a long time, Kathy, and I don't think we've done this topic before.
I don't think we have either, but as a kid who got shuttled to probably 7 different summer camps, and I have a shirt, I think, from every single one of them. It's a really great, profitable place to be. And thanks for the kind words, guys. It's really, it's always exciting to show people how they could expand their business, and this is great fun for us, and glad it was helpful.
And don't tell the screen printers I said it, but the embroiderers are my favorites. You guys are a lot of fun to present to, and there's a lot of neat things we can do for your business to help you guys grow. So it's a lot of fun to present this kind of stuff to you. So in the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again June 14th. Thanks for being with me today, Kathy.
Thank you, sir. Happy I was on mute for a second there. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.